The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka is largely an opinion talk show. All opinions, comments, or statements of fact expressed by Gwilda Wiyaka's guests are strictly their own and are not to be construed as those of the Science of Magic or endorsed in any manner by Gwilda Wiyaka, Relmar McConnell Media Company, its affiliated networks, stations, or employees. Welcome to the Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, a program dedicated to uncovering the unified nature of reality and humanity's ever-evolving place as truly galactic beings. For more information on the Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, visit us online at www.thescienceofmagic.net.
Welcome to the Science of Magic, a place where science and magic come together to transform fact into evolving truth. We're coming to you through the X Zone Broadcast Network, www.xzbn.net, and can also be found on our website, www.thescienceofmagic.net. I'm your host, Gwilda Wiyaka. This hour, we'll be exploring evolution of truth. After my original Lakota shaman crossed over, I continued looking for the truth. I loved my old teacher, though I often didn't understand him. He always held true to the way life works. Left adrift after his loss and feeling I didn't have what was needed to navigate the world without his guidance, I decided once I finally found and understood the truth, all things would fall into place. I would know right from wrong and who to trust and what to do with my life. I couldn't have been more wrong. Many a self-proclaimed guru fell by the wayside on my search, as relentless probing eventually exposed holes in their professed truth. Every time a teacher would come crashing down from their pedestal, I felt deep betrayal. Betrayed by them, yes, but mostly by myself, as I was blind to the holes in their logic until I fell into one. How could I not have seen that? How could I have been so naive? Seek and ye shall find. What I didn't realize at the time was the constant search was driving my frequency higher, making my former teachers obsolete to me, but not necessarily wrong. Einstein repeatedly stated that frequency dictates reality. How did my old teacher do it? No matter what level of understanding or frequency I was at, he managed to meet me there with the matching level of evolving truth. When my understanding grew, he stepped up the information. So often I would complain, "That's not what you told me last time. You keep changing your story." "It's not the story that has changed. You have," he responded. "It's the same story, as seen from a different place." One day, probably tired of my whining when things apparently changed yet again, he took me out to the prairie to look at a distant butte. "What do you see?" he questioned. He taught me to see omens in stones and in the clouds, so I did my ink blot thing. "I see a bear lying down." We walked a distance to the north before he asked again. "I see the head of a buffalo." "Well, is it a bear or a buffalo?" he challenged. "It was a bear from over there, but from here it's a buffalo," I impatiently responded. "No, Wiyaka. It's a butte." After years of contemplation, I've come to understand that if we really want to be of service during these evolutionary times, we can't simply discard truth when we evolve beyond it, for we may need it to meet our people where they are. Now I align with truth as it expresses at any given frequency in order to guide my students to their evolving truth. All I can do is guide them to their evolving truth with the understanding it may not be the same as mine. Truth is like a jigsaw puzzle, built on multiple platforms, each higher than the next. Every individual must bring their puzzle piece to the multidimensional structure before the whole picture becomes evident. However, as is the way with evolution, the ambient frequency changes, pieces shuffle, and layers are added to be filled. This concept comes with a caveat. There are certain divinations of perceived truth which are extremely polarized and not user-friendly. We all create a level of truth that is in fact not truth at all, but denial. Whether we're in denial, we tend to lock down into a polarized stance. Freezing at the extreme end of higher or lower frequencies leads to destabilization and madness. The only way to become clear channels for evolving truth is to heal and process the places in ourselves that are subject to denial and delusion. Ultimately, the best guidance I found by connecting directly with our inner knowing. This involves willingness to process beyond beliefs and delusions standing between us and that connection. Fortunately, there are many fine teachers available to help us find the way on our own evolving truth. Our guest this hour, TRACEY KROUSE, has been connected to an archangel and many divine guides since a child. She is a Divine REIKI Master, healer, educator, and Mystikologist, a remover of spirits and negative energies. TRACEY studies Ancient Origins and is a divine coach, guiding those to come to her wishing to engage in their path of divine life changes. After this commercial break, I'll introduce TRACEY, and we'll share her thoughts on raised consciousness, universal truth, and divine guidance, so don't go away. You're listening to The Science of Magic. Prior innovative episodes can always be found on our website, www.thescienceofmagic.net. The scientist and the mystic have been on an age-old, relentless search with one thing in common. They seek truth. Their paths converge in the 40,000-year-old practice of shamanism, an ancient science delving to the quantum level of life, facilitating healing, manifestation, and evolution. I'm Gwilda Wiyaka, the founder and director of Path Home Shamanic Arts School, a unique Colorado State certified occupational school training shamanic practitioners and teachers. We also provide classes for empowering personal lives through shamanism. Our certification classes are in week-long segments enabling international participation, and online classes and long-distance shamanic healing sessions are available. Come discover the science of magic in the limitless world of shamanism. www.findyourpathhome.com. Welcome back. This is The Science of Magic, dedicated to unification and evolution of consciousness. I'm your host, Gwilda Wiyaka. Our guest this hour, TRACEY KROUSE, is a divine coach, divine Reiki master, healer, and educator. Her website, www.divinefey8.com. TRACEY, thank you for joining us on The Science of Magic.
Thank you. I'm glad you invited me here.
So we can all start out on the same page. Let's start with a few definitions. How do you define divine?
Divine? Well, since being as a child connected to the divine, I guess for me, I see it as being with angels, archangels, divine beings, understanding the truth and gaining the wisdom and understanding of everything and how to apply it, how to advance. How to teach it, how to learn from it.
So what's Divine Reiki Master? I've heard of Reiki Master. So how does that differ from the garden variety?
We go through spirit. We are assigned certain archangels that we work with, and we learn from them as they are our guides and teachers. So
how does that differ from regular Reiki? I'm not a practitioner, so if you'd help me there.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Well, what we do is we learn to navigate through the energies of someone and find out where their strengths and weaknesses are and stuff. And when we teach Divine Reiki, so that they too can become a master of themselves instead of just a master. That way they can further educate their clients or people that they're to come in contact with to understand and learn the Divine Reiki and working through the archangels. And we also, when we clear negative energies and stuff, we don't put it back out into the atmosphere or down to the earth. And we dispose of them through our divine guides using certain tools to be able to release and relieve that negative energy from ourselves or from the person that we're working on, and then it gets dispersed up to the divine, and they process it up there.
Okay, so let me see if I'm hearing you right here.
Hmm.
What little I understand of Reiki is that in normal Reiki, they say that the energy or the spirit of that they're channeling knows where to go, and it sounds to me like Divine Reiki is a little more interactive, almost more shamanic. Is that accurate?
It is. It is. It's pretty close to shamanic, but we're working with our divine guides, archangels directly, and then through our divine guides. Some people may only have an archangel that they work with. Others may have an archangel and divine guides that work in the spirit realm, I guess you could say. Kind of on the fifth plane, but they're on the higher level of the fifth plane, and they're working their way up to heaven. So they're also learning through you lessons that they are to learn. So it's kind of like a joint partnership for those who work with divine beings in the fifth plane.
So, are you saying that the divine beings are like a stair step from where we are between us and the other side?
To heaven, yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh, how do you find these divine guides?
Well, they are with us all the time. They're just waiting for us to get to that next level of being a master of ourself. Like as a child, I had many divine guides that were with me, and they taught me many things. But as we grow older, thinking about getting your driver's license, buying a car, moving out, going to college, financial responsibilities, all those things get pushed into the way of your connection with your divine guides. So as you come back with the rays of consciousness and stuff within you, when you come back, you start connecting and reconnecting with the divine guides that were here to teach you when you were a child.
So, how does a person do that reconnection? I mean, we're all caught up in ordinary reality, it seems like. How do we
Mm-hmm.
walk back into that childlike state?
Well, that's why we're here as Divine REIKI Masters, to educate people on how to be able to identify with their chakras of their fears, things that they have picked up through their lifetime, like somebody could be terrified of a thunderstorm and they don't know why. So sometimes they have to travel back to the emotion of when it was created. Maybe it was created as a child. You were woken up in the middle of the night and you didn't know what was going on. We go back to that time and remove that fear of that thunderstorm. So we learn to overcome our fears, and therefore we start to become a master of our own domain, connecting with the divine, because when we release and get rid of these fears in our chakras, we bring in our strengths even more. And with doing that, our divine guides become closer to us.
So, you see fear as pretty low frequency and it blocks the chakras from being able to receive the higher frequency information?
Fears, yes. Emotions. Mm-hmm.
All emotions or just fear?
All emotions. Even, like when somebody passes, if you hang on to that somebody and you're sad for them all the time, it just emanates negative energy. You want to be happy. You want to encourage them to cross over and go into the light. They only have like 9 days to get into the light. But if we sit here and hold on to them in spirit, they stay in the spirit realm, and it makes it harder for them to find the light, and then they end up having to find a group of others for protection, and also in their search of finding someone that can help them to cross over. So by having those emotions attached to our family, the best thing we could do is release them and know that, they are to cross over. And when they do that, some of the beings will go up to heaven, and they will heal from there, and they will be able to come back as a stronger being, healed from the Earth's energies that are so negative of the emotions that they have engaged with over their period of lifetime and what their family is hanging on to, or friends.
So, are you talking about come back, like we're talking past lives and a continuum beyond this lifetime?
Some of them may choose to reincarnate. For example, my grandma, she was very religious, and it was a strict upbringing. You were seen, not heard, kind of thing for me as a child, and my mom as well. But she did go on, and she spent time in healing, and now she comes back as an angel. So that was the path that she chose, was to be an angel, and it's an angel for not for us, but for someone else. And because she's kind of like in the beginning stages, or maybe that's the purpose of the angel, that she chose to be a guardian angel for someone else.
So you can either come back in physical form or in as a helping spirit?
Yep.
Interesting. So your bio states that you're a divine coach. How does that differ from counseling, and where did you learn your coaching skills?
We are guided through the archangels and divine beings that are around us to gather the information of the path that we are to be led on. When I took Reiki the first time, I didn't have a good experience from it. Then I took it a second time with Mom and from a couple that I know, and it just felt like there was so much more to learn from it, to gain from it. So when we got our degree and everything else, we went through the 3-part process and stuff, and I just kind of walked away, and I'm like, there's something more. We're totally missing the point here of what this is supposed to be for. It's not just for healing, but it's about the self-discovery. And so we were led for the last 2 years to write about what we are learning about in the chakra system, our energies, our auras, in the spirit realm, angelic, the heart chakra, the importance of that we, most people live from the root chakra until they get engaged with the rise of consciousness, and then they start seeking out for guidance and who they're supposed to connect with, and they learn about intuition, and there's so many things that evolve around the Divine Reiki that we want people to tune into, because this is an ancient method of Reiki that goes back even to Egyptian days, where you can see in the hieroglyphs the beam, that comes down, and those are the healing rays, and also sending and receiving Reiki. So back then, of course, it wasn't called Reiki; it was called probably something else. But the hieroglyphs at least give us the information that they did energy healing back there of sending and receiving.
Right. So I think I'm starting to get the picture here, and correct me if I'm wrong.
Right.
So it comes to those who wait, right?
Yep,
So
that's right.
regular Reiki works by channeling energy into the physical body for physical healing, but Divine Reiki doesn't stop there. It starts to work with all the levels of the chakra system and the auric field in order to connect us with a higher source. Is that correct?
That is correct, and it also keeps us engaging in our divine guides of the ones that are around us. Regular Reiki, a lot of people, when I ask them, and introduce them to Divine Reiki, they're pretty satisfied with the regular Reiki that they do, but I can show them by example through the things that I do to say, this is working with the divine guide. I can give you something. And it's a gift that you cannot see. Maybe some people might be able to come across and see it. Those who see energies and stuff would be able to see it. But, for someone to receive it is totally different feeling. It's just like a power surge that comes through you if you're willing to accept it. If those people are not willing to accept it, they'll be black, and they're blocking the energy from coming in. Therefore, they don't receive the feeling of divine love and healing and energy and protection coming through them. So I explain that to other Reiki masters that, who do you know who you're working with in the spirit realm? What do you know about them? And they're like, I don't know. So a lot of people don't understand who they're connected to. And, someday they may just find that they're not connected to anybody anymore.
So do you think that they could be connecting to something that's not as in our best interest?
There are those who do that. Mm-hmm.
Do they do it unwittingly, or does there have to be some intent, whether conscious or unconscious, to connect with something that's not helpful?
Well, they have fallen into a guide of a lesser being, and some people I know of a certain church, I'm not going to say the name, but the pastor or minister there says, I'll give anybody $100 that I cannot heal, but he's invoking the spirits that are in the spirit realm that are lower and lesser energies. And
so it sounds
mm-hmm.
a little more ego-centered?
That and monetary.
There's always that.
More people that come, yes. Mm-hmm.
That's unfortunate. Do you charge for your Divine Reiki sessions?
We do. We have a set price for all of our Divine Reiki classes at $125, but we do run a lot of specials. Like I'm running one for, bring a friend, and you and a friend get $25 off each. So that's only $100 a piece. Or we do have one that we are bringing on board now, which is Divine Reiki of a parent with a gifted child. And
Oh,
that's
nice.
$175.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
We have to take care of our children. We're going to have to take a
sure
break,
do.
Tracy. We're going to take a break, Tracy. Tracy and I will return to our discussion after this short break. You're listening to The Science of Magic on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, www.xzbn.net. I'm your host, Gwilda Wiyaka. Previous broadcasts of thought-provoking episodes can always be found on our website, www.thescienceofmagic.net. We will be back, so don't you go away. The scientist and the mystic have been on an age-old, relentless search with one thing in common. They seek truth. Their paths converge in the 40,000-year-old practice of shamanism, an ancient science delving to the quantum level of life, facilitating healing, manifestation, and evolution. I'm Gwilda Wiyaka, the founder and director of Path Home Shamanic Arts School, a unique Colorado State certified occupational school, training shamanic practitioners and teachers. We also provide classes for empowering personal lives through shamanism. Our certification classes are in week-long segments enabling international participation, and online classes and long-distance shamanic healing sessions are available. Come discover the science of magic in the limitless world of shamanism. www.findyourpathhome.com. Welcome back. This is The Science of Magic, a place where magic and science come together to promote enlightenment. I'm your host, Gwilda Wiyaka. Our guest this hour is TRACEY KROUSE, a divine coach, Divine REIKI Master, healer, and educator. TRACEY, I had one more question one more definition I need from you. What is a mystikologist?
Knew that question was coming. Oh, boy. Well, I do have the definition out on my website, but I'm just going to give you the mystikologist as far as the words go, because it's very important so that, whatever is read is understood for whatever stands out for the person that is seeking what a mystikologist is. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So as a person who has a raised consciousness to the reality of universal truth of the power and presence of God's light in every living thing, that God's essence is life that is continually given to us with or without our knowledge to sustain us. When in the raised consciousness of the mystic life, that person can draw on this essence of spirit to experience the understanding of their true divine self and the freedom from the fears of the physical being. Through the increased knowledge, their vibration is raised along with attaining a strong connection through spirit with God's messengers.
That's neat. Where'd this concept come from?
It was divinely guided. I came up with the word mystikologist because I kind of thought, what is a mystic and, an ologist, so you're talking about someone who is divinely connected or receives a lot of information as being into the mystic kind of thing, and the ologist being a specialist with the practice and study of, so always researching and getting the divine information of wisdom and understanding.
How can a person tell if they're dealing with someone that has this connection or not when they're looking for help and guidance?
Well, it's a matter of asking their guides, asking for a sign, following their intuition. Some people are connected, like I said, with the earth. Some people may see it as a bird, or they may see it as a feather. They may see it as a coin. So, looking for whatever guidance that they're led to follow to know that that's the road that they're supposed to take. For example, there was a girl that sent me an email, and she was so excited, and through her email she was just very thorough about her information. She said that she's connected with Archangel Raphael. and she said, he just lit up when he saw your ad. He lit up. And so I was led to believe that this was the Reiki that I was looking for to learn. And so I sent you this email, but she's, limited on funds, and she was so worried about it. And I go, no, we have a scholarship for people in the first Reiki class, because if you don't believe us, then I guess I don't know what to tell you. But, I think through the first Reiki class that people that are willing to connect and make that connection and really start to search their first 3 chakras in their Reiki class, that they will begin to discover what their purpose is and why they're here and why they're getting that divine guidance.
So what about a person that doesn't have a connection with an archangel, that doesn't know how to read omenology? How do they figure where they need to be and what to do? What do you recommend for them?
I guess it depends on if they're like an earthly person or just maybe if they're into a lot of conversation and communication. Some people like to ask a lot of questions. I had a guy that is going to be coming to our Reiki class who is also a shaman, but he was led to believe through his thought process of what he receives in body language, what he's seen, what he experienced in attending a speech that I did. So he was like, I don't know who you are or what you're up to, and he pulled me aside and we were talking, and I said, well, you're a shaman, aren't you? And he goes, yeah. He goes, but I didn't tell you that. And I said, you didn't have to. I knew when you walked in the room. So, when they engage in conversation, then they get clues as far as, this is the direction that you're looking for, or, sometimes you get pokes or prods, or you get like a hot flash, oh, this is where you need to go, pulling up their website, and you're just like, oh my gosh, look at this, look at this, look at this. If your interest pique you, some people start out in searching for ancient origins type of stuff, that they're looking back into Egypt or something like that, and they start to recognize certain things. It could be something in their past life that is triggering them to search for something that is knowledgeable and full of wisdom and guidance and stuff. So, and that, when you become a Divine Reiki Master, it doesn't mean that you're going to be healer. It means that working through your assigned archangel, you're going to learn to either be a communicator through writing, through conversation. You can be doing it for the sake of children. It could be something that you're doing with the earth. It just depends on what divine archangel that you're going to be working with. That's how you learn to become a master of Divine Reiki.
So tell me a little bit about the children that you work with.
Oh, we're excited. Very excited. There are children that are here that their consciousness level is on the rise, and they're beginning to feel the energies of the earth, and things are changing, and they're here to be the peaceful ones that are going to be bringing a lot of information out there for everyone. And there are ones that are going to be working, like I said, with the earth too, that they work with the same archangel that of someone who would be connected as with the earth as well at, say 80 years old. It doesn't matter. But when they go out and they start to explore, you let your children explore and expand. If you learn from them, they're teaching you. Let's go outside. Let's go out and touch the leaves on the tree or on the bush, or let's go smell the flowers, or let's go, rub this kind of leaf to see what it smells like. They're teaching you things. So learning to adapt as a parent to encouraging your child to continue moving forward in that mode of expression through either the earth, or maybe they feel the need to go up to someone and just touch their hand. I get children that just look at me and they just smile and they light up and they're waving all the time at me. And I think it's a blessed feeling. It's a great feeling to know that these children can see that, I send off good energy and they're not to be afraid of me.
Yeah, that's really reassuring to see, isn't it? Now, are these children the ones that people have referred to as the indigos, rainbow, and crystal children?
Yep.
They're coming in with the lights on, aren't they? Little systems busters.
They are. They are.
And thank goodness for them.
Yes.
So tell us about divine gifts and abilities and how you help your clients access them.
Um, when we teach the Divine Reiki, we give you options, and to learn with pendulum or oracle cards or whatever it is that I'm given to them. Say, like those objects, to say this is something that you'll be working closely with. And we kind of get them off to starting that so that they can start to learn to follow their intuition, their guidance, and to discover through the learning of the oracle cards or their angelic cards, of course, and then the pendulum, to understanding what is false information if they get a spirit that comes in and tries to give them incorrect information, that they will learn that if it's negative or if they want us to do something that we don't feel is right, we don't do it, and we recognize it as a negative thought or a negative presence. So through the cards, though, some people will set up a daily routine in the morning. How am I going to start my day today? I'm going to flip over one card. I want one card to give me a message for the day. And then they get that message, and then they think about it all day long, and then they learn to become more consciously aware of following that divine guidance through that message.
So you're using divinational tools to help a person start to tune into their natural ability to read at the quantum level, really, to tell what's going on in unity. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm.
How can a person discern whether guidance that may show up is of a divine nature or more nefarious one?
Well, it is a good feeling when the divine presence is coming around. They can send off vibration and frequency. They can send off colors. They can send off sensations of warmth that come in through the top of the head. You start to get the sweats and everything, and you think sometimes for females, they think, oh my gosh, I'm going through, menopause. And it's like, no, no, no. I had to tell my mom that, no. Those are your angels. They're trying to get in contact with you. You just start sweating all of a sudden, and that means that they're like right there. They're connecting with you, and it's just like, oh my gosh, So it's a matter of knowing how to recognize those things, and through the card readings or through the pendulum or even feeling the Divine Reiki, it gives you that higher vibration and that frequency to connect, to be able to start to sense those things coming around you, that are divine. And when you start to feel the negative, you're going to know by your thoughts, if, like I said, if it's something that's telling you that is not true or trying to guide you into doing something you shouldn't be doing. Learning in your gut that is a no. Learning in your heart that is the truth. So it's a matter of being able to weed out all that negative energy and those fears from your first three chakras to be able to start identifying with the divine beings that are around you that want to help you and guide you.
So I'm seeing two things here that are operating. One is first, you have to really start recognizing how your body or how your psyche is going to respond to information. Really get to know yourself. Is that accurate?
Yep, and that's the becoming the master of yourself, the Reiki master of becoming master of yourself, so that you
know thyself, right?
Yes.
And so it sounds, the second thing that's coming to my mind is it sounds pretty important that we recognize what our triggers are, what our fears are, what drops our frequency, so that maybe we can't clear them all at once, but at least we know them. Is that accurate?
That is. I can give you a really good example. I had someone that I was working with on bringing up their frequency and their vibration because they were going to be going in for surgery. And with surgery, I know that there are a lot of elements that have to be taken into precaution before and during and after surgery. And with the medication that she was on, she was real negative. She picked up all this negative energy in the surgery and stuff like that. And I kept telling her, you got to clear this. This is stuff that your conscious picked up during the surgery and you didn't know it. There's a negative conversation that happened. So you need to clear that because your angels have now been shifted 50 feet away. And until you clear that negative aspect of what had happened and everything else, your angels are going to have a hard time helping you to heal from the surgery.
So basically, she picked up something that was of a lower frequency, which created a space between her and her guides. Is that correct?
She was pushing them out because she became so negative from the information that she received, like the attitude, the emotion, what was said in there. in the operating room. You don't know what happened because she was under anesthesia.
Right. It's amazing how Western medicine doesn't pay attention to the fact that everything they say when we're under anesthesia goes in. Yeah.
It
So
does.
we're going to have to take a quick break, Tracy, and Tracy and I will be back on the flip side of this commercial break. You're listening to The Science of Magic on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, www.xzbn.net, the place where altruistic professionals of science and the esoteric create common ground for the betterment of our world. If you like this episode, you can always listen to other ones on our website, www.thescienceofmagic.net. We'll see you on the flip side, so don't go away. The scientist and the mystic have been on an age-old, relentless search with one thing in common. They seek truth. Their paths converge in the 40,000-year-old practice of shamanism, an ancient science delving to the quantum level of life, facilitating healing, manifestation, and evolution. I'm Gwilda Wiyaka, the founder and director of Path Home Shamanic Arts School, a unique Colorado State certified occupational school training shamanic practitioners and teachers. We also provide classes for empowering personal lives through shamanism. Our certification classes are in week-long segments enabling international participation, and online classes and long-distance shamanic healing sessions are available. Come discover the science of magic in the limitless world of shamanism. www.findyourpathhome.com. Welcome back. This is The Science of Magic, bringing together gifted people of service to the world. I'm your host, Gwilda Wiyaka. Our guest this hour, TRACEY KROUSE, is a divine coach, Divine REIKI Master, healer, and educator. TRACEY, we were talking about how we can tell what our gifts are. Can you go into that a little bit more?
Sure. I'll give you an example. Somebody had referred me to someone, and they were having a negative presence at their home. And she was able to see and sense the presence of the negative beings that were in her home. They were having a party. So after, many days of working this out and getting things cleared up there and stuff, she thought that her sight was a curse. And I said, oh, no. I said, this is a blessing. I said, everybody would love to see what's going on in most cases, but in your case, I can see why you would think it would be a curse. And I said, once this is all done and I give you some divine gifts, then you will be able to be cleared from what you see as negative, and your gifts of sight will come in, and you'll be able to see the angelic presence. And within a couple minutes, she's like, oh my gosh, I actually see angels coming down. So she was actually seeing a vision of the future of an event that took place shortly after that. So, and it was in her favor, of course, so she was really happy to do that, and now she's on the fast track to learning Divine Reiki. She's going to be taking her 3rd Divine Reiki class, and she's really come a long ways, so we're very glad for that.
It sounds like simply changing focus. You change channels and get to see, use your gift in different ways. Is that what was going on there?
Yeah. Yep, and that's what we do through the Divine Reiki, is that we are able to, the divine works through us, and we are able to give the attunements, which everybody does in Reiki. And through our attunements, the person's abilities are activated or increased at the time of the attunement. So at that time, things will gradually come in. The more that they learn about their chakras and clearing and releasing things, then their gifts start to come in, and they start to recognize them, and they start to learn how to utilize them. And through, hard work and dedication and stuff, and staying positive and clearing the negative energies away, then their abilities start to increase. Now, we're not limited to just one. We have many, many divine gifts, wisdom, understanding, the ability to communicate, heal, of course, and, be able to sense, intuition. There's so many gifts that people tend to forget that they already have. So recognizing those only increases our awareness and our ability to communicate and increase our abilities.
Again, it goes back to know thyself, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
In the intro, I referred to an evolving truth. How do you relate that to evolving levels of consciousness? Because it seems like that's what we're talking about here.
Mm-hmm. Well, a lot of things are coming out if you pay attention to like archaeology like I do, understanding that a lot of things are coming out as far as the truth goes. Traditional archaeologists are kind of going on the wayside, while these new archaeologists are stepping up and saying, you know what, I see something different here. We need to grasp a little bit more information about what is going on here. What happened in the past? Is there a prophecy there? Is there information for us in the future? Did we forget something? Are the teachings lost, or have they been destroyed? So you learn about many things that are going on in the world through archaeology, and it also brings up the level of awareness because some point in time you were there, in a previous lifetime. So it kind of involves a trigger point, and you start to really start going, okay, this is something I need to pay attention to, and I'm interested in reading about it, and that only raises your consciousness and your level of vibration.
Do you think that evolution of consciousness requires life changes? And if so, would you please expound?
Oh boy, yeah, I do. When you send out the gift of divine love to someone, it raises your consciousness. It raises their consciousness, whether they're at the beginning stages or they're in an advanced stage. It doesn't matter. Sending the gift of divine love is always a raise of someone's consciousness, including your own, because it is a gift. And this could be sent out to your neighbors, even though if you don't have good neighbors, it doesn't matter. It's still, you've given a gift of divine love and you've surrounded them in love. So the consciousness is being aware, and it really it really was awakened at the Mayan calendar 2012. Everybody thought it was the death, but it wasn't. So it's the beginning of spiritual awakening and the rise of consciousness. So a lot of females have stepped forward to this, but now the males have been activated now. And so you're starting to see more males taking on a role of following some of their guidance as far as healers. A lot of them are going to be healers. A lot of them have a lot of energy, so they need to be able to tap into that energy and understand how to use it and what's going to be the best benefit for it,
Got it. Before we run out of time, would you mind telling people where they can find your classes and services?
Sure. I'm actually going to be offering Skype classes where we do allow 2 people to Skype in during a regular Reiki class. So that will be listed on the website. So our website is Divine, Divine, Fey, Fey, and the number 8.com. And we also have the Divine Network there that we're introducing a divine community of people that will be out there available to people. We don't have to be in location of where you're at to receive education and services. So we do things over the Skype, and we also do it through our own homes.
Got it. Okay. It seems to me if we're going to affect a change in what I call ordinary reality, and you refer to as the material world, we need to bridge the two. Can you talk to me about grounding consciousness as we evolve?
I guess the best thing is to detach from the emotions of what is material. This is your favorite car. What would happen if your favorite car got into an accident tomorrow? How are you going to detach from that? Just remember it's replaceable. King Tut left us a message as well as a curse on his tomb. Seeking material wealth and everything else gets you nothing but, nothing. But, he couldn't take it with him. And I always tell people that, are you really attached to that material? Really? So But we learn to get away from that. If you had to leave your home tomorrow, would you be able to leave everything behind, knowing that it's only material? So those are the things that we do teach in Divine Reiki, is that to remember it is material, it is replaceable, but you're not.
Mm. Is there really a clear boundary between the material world and the divine?
As far as material goes on that aspect, I would say maybe, the importance of what surrounds you that is full of energy of life that is divine, such as a tree, a stone, things like that, because everything is made with energy. There are energies that you can pick up that are material, that are certainly worth having.
I make a practice out of creating sacred space, and within that concept and within that practice, we make sure that everything that we use or have around us, even though it's material, has been blessed and appreciated and given gratitude for, raising the frequency. Do you do that as well?
We do. We do. We all do every day. The food that we eat. I'm grateful for being there. Grateful for the water that you take a shower with. The heat that you have for the water. I mean, these may seem small and minute, but what happens if there's a day that comes and the water is not as plentiful as it is today? And also when you do that, it also becomes a source of healing. And also that the creators are aware that, you are asking for their blessings upon whatever it is that you have, starting off your day and in your night. Again, if you listen to what is out there, you got the robin and the other birds that are morning birds. They're asking or singing to the creators that made them to bless the day. Let them find the food. Let them find shelter. Let them find warmth. Let them find a soulmate. Let them teach their children, that kind of thing. And at the end of the night, they say thank you.
That's a beautiful example, and it's one that we really need to follow, isn't it?
It is. Thank you.
Do you make that as part of the practice that you teach people?
It is. It comes with some wisdom and stuff. We are working on an advanced Divine Reiki class for those people who want to seek further knowledge and wisdom and paying attention to their surroundings, to pay attention to the words that are given out there, words that are said, to understand that other people are messengers too. To understanding the growth and the sleep of the trees, the tree whispers, the elementals, anything that they're supposed to be getting involved with in their life. So we learn through our Divine Reiki class, through the people that are working with the archangels, what each archangel's roles are, so that we can start to incorporate those separate classes for those people that are to be going into that level of understanding.
Sounds like a beautiful provision. And it also sounds very grounded in the earth elements, huh?
We are. We're not grounded to the earth because the earth fluctuates in its grounding. So, people who send their negative energies down there, they take from the earth, but are they giving it back to the earth?
Time flies, Tracy, and we're out of it. I can't thank you enough for being with us. Our guest this hour has been TRACEY KROUSE, a divine coach, divine Reiki master, healer, and educator. Her website, www.divinefay8.com. This has been The Science of Magic. Remember, you can always listen to past thought-provoking episodes on our website, www.thescienceofmagic.net. Until next time, dear ones, may you be blessed with knowledge and comforted with love as you embrace your evolving truth.
One people, one nation, searching for the light. One people, one nation, coming from the stars. One people, one nation.